This time of the year is spent in good cheer, and neighbours together do meet.
What He Doesn't Know by Francis Gapper. I've baked pies in the old bread oven and left a covered bowl of dough to prove in the boiler cupboard. My feet ache from being on them all morning, pattering back and forth. The kitchen is huge and the pantry off down the corridor. At least I get plenty of exercise. There's an old well in this kitchen, covered by the flagstones. At least so my mother-in-law once told me. Crazy old bat, the men laughed. But you can still see the floodline from 2005 on the wall by the door. Our farmhouse stands well above the river, so where did all that water come from? Off the moor, maybe. Peter thought so, and the field drains have since been improved. We eat in front of the TV. I watch as he mashes the gravy from his pie with his potatoes, then forks it into his mouth watching the screen. Where does he put it all? He's been wearing those jeans since the year we wed, 1992. His face is dark and hollow-cheeked, the opposite of my plump blondness. Stacking the plates, cutlery on top, I say, "Pudding? Don't stir, I'll bring them both in." I open the green-panelled cupboard that houses the boiler, where earlier I cleared a space among the pillowcases and tea towels to set the dough in its Pyrex bowl. Since then it's risen high, formed a muffin top. It needs knocking back. I put the bowl on the table, then lay into the dough with clenched fists. But it's strong and refuses to be diminished, to fall with an air-punched sigh. It pushes back, fights my hands as though trying to leap from the bowl. I feel my face tighten in annoyance. "Find your own shape then," I tell the bowl's contents. The kitchen is warm enough, womb enough to foster and form. I dollop cream on apple crumble. An hour later, Peter yawns and stretches, ready to turn in for the night. But then it's the news and, more importantly, the weather. And he falls asleep in the high-backed chair that used to be his dad's. I slip out to the kitchen, whisper, "Are you ready?" For answer, two podgy arms encircle my waist. A sticky kiss lands on my mouth. "Here now," I reprove. "I'm not him." I unscrew a jar of currants and prod eyes into the girl's moon face. "Wait for him in our bed," I say. "Embrace him and let him plunge between your buttery thighs. Be good food to him." I slap dough girl on the buttocks and watch her scamper giggling upstairs. At midnight, in the star-speckled dark, I cross the farmyard and hurry down the lane. Who'll be waiting by the bridge tonight? Here's Marilyn, the goth, bare-armed and shivering. Squarely built Gail, and of course Janet, in her waxed parka from the barn shop that sells discounted outdoors gear. And the sheep in the back of Janet's Land Rover. "Right, let's get going," Janet says. The Land Rover climbs a tree-shrouded lane, bumps along an unmade road. Tonight's moon isn't full, nor a clear quarter. She's gibbous, vapid. Gail and Marilyn sit behind us, holding the ewe. Hooves scrape on ridged metal. We stop at the usual place, by the angry river. The sheep's legs are bound. Janet clips wool from her neck, slashes her throat. She lifts heart and lungs from the body cavity, dumps the intestines in a bucket. The eviscerated beast is hoisted up to drain from a tree. "We have plenty of blood for the offering." Janet asks me, "Are you the volunteer?" I nod. Dart, dart, cruel dart, every year thou claim'st a heart. The sheep's blood is poured on the fast-flowing water, swallowed by the darkness. I undress and plunge in after. The water's cold as death. I gasp twice, then immerse myself. A willing sacrifice. I say to the river in my mind, "Take me." She appreciates the gesture. She rarely takes a woman. Although every year that we don't do this, there's at least one death by drowning in the local paper or a catastrophic flood. For now, though, she's appeased. I get out and Janet wraps me in the towel that she always remembers to bring. Beneath the ancient stars on the bare moor, I feel alive. This is it, I think, where it is. Although I'm so cold my teeth rattle, I'm far from tired. I want to stay out here forever. While I dress, the others lug the carcass onto a plastic sheet in the back of Janet's vehicle. "I'll drop the meat off tomorrow at around 11, she says. "Loin chops for you, Gail." Tomorrow, the dough will be back in its bowl. Quiet as a good wife. I'll make sweet bread rolls and he'll tear one apart, cram it in his mouth, maybe while totting up the weekly accounts. If I ask him a question, he'll stare at me with dark, encircled eyes. And I'll wonder, as I sometimes do, how much he knows.